Hi everybody, this is Trish from Art Journal Junkie. I do hope that you have a good start to 2018 and I wish you many more good days during the year. Now, as you can see, I have taken out the journal that I prepared the other day. It has 90 pound, which is about 140 grams, that's what it is, watercolor paper that I've tipped in with washi tape. And that is going to be my arty sort of side of my journal for the year, with my planner and some journaling in it as well, a la the documented life program that was run by Art to the Fifth some years ago. So I grabbed out pieces of paper. I was quite intrigued. This old text here comes from a book and I couldn't remember where I'd got it from until I flipped it over. And then I remembered that Peerless, the watercolor people, had sent me my Peerless watercolors wrapped in this lovely old piece of book text. So out with the old and tip it into the new. But before I did that, I decided to write my affirmations onto my page. And I have chosen a word for the year. And that word is to receive, but only good things. Last year I spent a lot of my energy and my time giving. As you know, I'm in the medical field and it's quite heartbreaking to work with patients who are very ill, and you do tend to give a lot of yourself. I don't mind that. That is part of my nature, but oftentimes I'm shy to receive. And so I've decided that no more shyness. I have opened myself up to receiving. And wow, since I did that on the 1st of the year, I have received so much already. So with a Derwent Inktense pencil, a normal pencil, a pen, I can't remember exactly what I used, I wrote down all my affirmations and then decided to cover them up. And what better way than to use some of the book text and a couple of pieces of a small, I think it's a 6x6 page that I received in Happy Mail. So, excuse me. So I decided I would put it down with gel medium rather than my normal glue for two reasons. I think I'd run out of glue at this stage. Also, I just felt that on the watercolor paper, I think the gel medium would stick a lot better. And then I gave it a good squish down so that everything was secure, and I let it dry. Now, I've got the Derwent Aquatones, which are similar to the newer colors, but I can tell you they're not as vibrant. They're very nice. They've never been my favorites, and that is why I originally bought the newer colors, or why I wanted to try to buy the newer colors. But I decided that I'm going to use these Aquatones, especially for backgrounds, because they are nice crayons. They just aren't as brilliant or as vibrant or as intense as the newer colors. Nevertheless, picked up the colors from the washi tape that I'd used, which is a nice magenta, cyan and a yellow, and it's got some gold foiling in it as well. And those are the colors I used in the Aquatone. The idea here wasn't really to cover up all my writing, but rather just to smush it all into the background. And so I did that with a little bit of water. And again, as I say, the watercolor paper I found was a little bit too lightweight for all the water that I was throwing at it. So I had to dry it off and then put it under a pile of books to actually let it straighten again before I could continue using it. One of the things that Tamara Laporte teaches in her life book lessons is once you've done your background to sort of smash it down with some gesso. Here I picked up a couple of words from the book text which were really, I can't even remember what they were, but they sort of popped out of the page at me and I just loved them. So I used my Stabilo or pencil and highlighted them and then smushed over with gesso. And unfortunately in South Africa it's so hot at the moment that the gesso dries too quickly, so I couldn't wipe away as much as I would have liked to. So of course I've got to put colour back on because it really looked wishy-washy. This is a little stamp set that a friend of mine gave me, and of course I'm using my new Distress Inks, which I purchased the other day because Angie, my art pal, had bought me the tin, and of course you've got to fill up the tin. So I grabbed out, again keeping in the colour scheme, the turquoise and pink and yellow. Popped it all over. I wasn't scared because it's such a fragile little stamp, and used the peacock feathers. That's a lovely aqua colour. Now I'm going to add some bubble wrap with just some watered down acrylic paint just to bring this colour back up again. I really enjoyed playing with the bubble wrap. I was scared I was going to pop them, and then I thought, well, why be scared? You know, this is the whole thing, just enjoy the moment. And so off camera I actually did, I stomped on the bubble wrap after I'd used it, and I felt like such a kid listening to them going pop pop pop. Anyway, acrylic does need to dry before you play with it, so out with my heat gun and I gave it a bit of a blitz. Mixed media is a lot of fun. You've got so much at your fingertips, and sometimes it can be a bit of a quandary as to what do I do next? What do I use next? You know, do I take out inks and spray? Do I use pens? Oh yes, there I use some glittery gold stuff, and all I'm doing is taking the back end of my paintbrush and making little marks. That's another thing that I'm learning to do is add to my backgrounds just by creating little symbols that are meaningful to me. And of course we all love circles, we all love dots, and I've just invested in this wonderful thick heavy body titanium white. Let me just warn you, it doesn't go well over a Posca pen that you haven't dried, but nevertheless I soldiered on and I put the white titanium acrylic paint down. And being new to all this mark making, I mean, I have used mark making a bit in some of my pages, but I've really decided that that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to put a lot of marks onto my pages. I've been inspired tremendously by Ray Missigman and Robin Marie Smith. Both of them use these brilliant colors, and so I treated myself to the Amsterdam Reflex Orange, which I'm using here, and then also to the Amsterdam Reflex Rose. And while I was at it, I thought, well, let me put some more on the drop paper because I'm going to use this in collage work at some stage, I'm certain. So here I'm taking the Reflex Rose, also the Amsterdam product, and just giving it a smush here and there to brighten up the page. I really love this color combination. And then while I was at it, I added some of the medium yellow from Amsterdam. They truly are gorgeous paints. But if you're following along and you want to use any paints, craft paints are great. As you saw, I used some craft paints as well. Now I'm just outlining the little dooflabbies that I made around the border, and then while I was deciding what I was actually going to do in the center as my focal point, I started fiddling around with my Posca pen and making some marks. Didn't like the yellow, so I thought, well, let's get rid of it. Then I changed my mind and thought, actually I did like it. So I grabbed another piece of watercolor paper, and just with my fingers I started creating a round ball sun. I'm not really sure what it represents, but it certainly is circular, and at some stage its meaning will come to me, I'm sure. And as soon as that was dried, I started tearing it out. I love tearing out pieces of paper. There are places and times that I cut paper as well to add into my art, but for some reason this time round, I think because I want to be so free and so open, I decided that I would actually just tear it and stick it down. And of course, that glue stick, which I thought I didn't have, came to hand because it was in my husband's office. Sneaky man. Anyway, I took it back. And while I'd been making a couple of marks, I had decided that if I'm going to receive, I have to open my arms and give away what I don't want and open up my arms to receive. So I just drew a very, very stylized me with a very round head. I don't know why it's so round, but anyway, I then colored it in with, or not colored it in, I painted it in with some black acrylic craft paint, and I should have left it right there, because looking back on this video, I think that would have just been perfect. But of course, we never leave alone, and we continue and we add, and here I go adding black Stabilo or pen again, and water to activate it, which wasn't too bad actually, to be quite honest. So yeah, you know, I'm thoroughly enjoying myself here, and clearly I am receiving a very lovely golden orb. I hope it's a golden orb of knowledge, or you know, whatever it is, I will receive it actually. So I love using my own handwriting, as you know, and I'm not scared to just go directly onto the page. So here I'm writing in upper and lowercase and cursive, but I'm open to receive. Now, the technique I'm using here is by Joanne Sharp. I took a lesson with her many, many years ago, and what she does is she teaches you to find your own font. So my suggestion is, if you'd like to learn how to write, or it's not really calligraphy, it's just using your own handwriting to make your own font, then go and do a lesson or two with her. She's absolutely awesome. I'll leave the link below for you to follow. And that is what I've done. I have just used my own handwriting, and I've thickened up the font as per Joanne Sharp. I can't leave the Stabilo pencil alone. I think I should put it somewhere far away, because while I do love the grunge effect, it's not my favorite, I must be honest. But you know, it is what it is, and I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this page. So I'm going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed my little video, please come across and join us on Facebook at Art Journal Junkie. We're hitting 9,000 members now, and they are also incredibly inspiring, and they do the most amazing art journaling. It is an art journaling page, and I'd love to receive you at Art Journal Junkie. And thanks very much for watching this little video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving me a thumbs up. And as I said, come across and join us on Facebook. I wish you all the most amazing 2018, and have a wonderful day today, and I'll see you again soon. Take care for now, and see you. Bye.